Hello everybody, I hope you can see me okay. There's a little bit of light coming into my office this afternoon, but hopefully that's not too bad. Okay, so we're continuing with our lessons on shape and today's very exciting. Let me share my screen with you because we are moving on to a slightly different concept within shape, and we are learning about, for the next 3 lessons, 3D shape. Fantastic, how exciting. And who knows anything about 3D and how it's different to 2D? So pause the video now and have this discussion. Brilliant. 3D shape, let's just go back before we distract ourselves. 3D shape, and I'm going to stop my share just so I can show you some shapes with you. They are not flat shapes. So our 2D shapes were flat and we could post them through a letterbox. But if I show you an example of a 3D shape, I'm going to find this very, very difficult to squeeze through a letterbox. And before I talk about the mathematical terms for some of the features of a 3D shape, I always like to say that a 3D shape, and you're going to have to cover your ears, grown-ups, because we're about to be rather silly. I always say it's got to sit on something, like we sit on our bottom. A 3D shape has got to sit on its bottom. So it's not flat, and we can't post it through a letterbox. So we're going to think about 3D shapes and their features over the next couple of lessons. So let's go back. Should have started that before I shared my screen. And let's move on. Okay, so let's get our brains warmed up a little bit and let's think about the odd one out, because I love doing these. It gives us loads of opportunities for mathematical discussion and talk. So pause the video now, have a discussion, look at what you see in front of you. Which is the odd one out? There's no right or wrong answer. Off you go. Brilliant. You may have noticed that this one could be the odd one out, this one here, because it looks as though it's a flat shape, it's a 2D shape. You may have said, I'm not using any names yet of these shapes, that this one was the odd one out because it doesn't have any vertices. We know that maths word now, like the other shapes. It doesn't have any of those, some of you like to call them very technical, those pointy bits, but we like to call them vertices in maths. Odd one out here. Any ideas for the odd one out here? Again, pause the video and have this discussion. Okay, now last year when we had this discussion, we had this shape on the end. Again, it's got no vertices, so we could say that was the argument. And also we talked about this one being quite transparent, it's quite see-through. But if you want to put any of your reasons for the odd one outs on the comments, we would absolutely love to see them. So please do have really good discussions about these at home, because there's lots of mathematical discussion that comes out of them. What is the same and what is different? Pause the video now and have a little look at this one. Okay, now you might have noticed with some of these 3D shapes so far that we haven't mentioned the names of, that you can see within them 2D shapes that we do know. So here I've actually got these 2 shapes, and if we talked about similar things, things that are the same, we can both see that 2D shape of a square in them. Things that are different, we may say that this shape here is smaller. We may say that this shape here is longer than the first shape. There are lots of things that we can find that are similar and different about these 2 shapes. Let's move on. This is the best part, where we start to talk about the names. And I wonder who throughout the lesson so far has been calling out the names of these 3D shapes because they already know at home. And actually the best part about learning about 3D shape at home is that there is so much around you. So once we've learned the names to these shapes, one of your missions is going to be going around the house, finding these shapes and noticing and listing all of the different features because they are everywhere. So it's a really fab thing to be learning about whilst you guys are at home. So let's start the first one. So we have a cube. I'm going to draw the right line. So we've got a cube, and a cube is down here. And we've got our STEM sentences. The cube is a 3D shape. It has edges and vertices and edges. Now, that's a bit of a mistake, isn't it, Miss Di? Let's alter that right now, because that should be a magic word. And I looked at it just as I was saying it then. This is what's fun about these Zoom lessons. It should be, it has edges. We know what an edge is. It's where these bits are here. Let's go to whole screen. On my cube here, these are the edges. Okay, I can trace them with my fingers. We know what the vertices are, or a vertex if it's one. It's where these edges meet. And the final thing that I talked about at the beginning of the video, when I was being a bit silly about it has to sit on its bottom, and the way that I get my class to remember this, I can actually see a faint line from where I did this last year actually, is we call these faces. So these are called faces of a 3D shape. And I say it's got to sit on its face. It's got to have something to move on to, a bit like you guys have to sit on your bottom. You can have a little giggle. Let's go back to my screen share. Here we are. Okay, so this is a cube. Okay, it has edges and vertices and faces. Have a little pause of the video now. Okay, actually no, we'll come back and do this at the end because that's when I want you to investigate, so it's going to be a bit difficult. I was going to ask you guys to count the edges and the vertices and the faces, but I think I'm going to leave that as your mission until the end of the video because I've got these physically in front of me like we would do in school, and it's a lot easier for me to do. So we'll go through for the names of the shapes first. This is a cube. The next one we have got a, who can read that with their phonics? Because we've got this O sound. Cone. And a cone is this one here. And here we are. And we can see within a cone, it's got two curved faces. It's got one here. Okay, it's got a face here, which you can see the circle of a 2D shape in. And it's got one vertex. Fabulous. Two ticked off our list. We have got a cuboid. Now, who can tell their grown-ups at home what 2D shape a cuboid recognises them of? Because we can see lots of, that's it, correct. We can see lots of rectangles and we can see squares in the end. And these bits here, as I've said before, I'm drawing on all of its faces. Fabulous. We've got a cuboid. We have got a, where are we? Sphere. Here we go. And this is the sphere. And we could say, another arguable one, it's got one curved face. Or has it got a face? Because it hasn't got any edges and it really is continual. If I roll this across the room, it just rolls continually. It hasn't got any vertices and it hasn't got any edges. We have got a pyramid. Brilliant pyramid. Let me just try and balance my sphere. I actually thought that I hadn't brought it home with me for a second and I thought I'm going to have to go and get one of Ronnie's tennis balls, but I had found it, so that's good. So pyramid, where are we? Pyramid, we are here. And I have got a pyramid here. Who can see what shapes we see within a pyramid? Let's just stop the share for this one. Who can see? We have got a, remember that threeness, and we call it a triangle. And we have also got at the bottom a square. Lots of 2D shapes that we can see within these 3D shapes. And again, it's got its faces. And don't forget the bottom as well. So it's got all of these faces and it's got a vertex here, but it has also got other vertexes, it's got vertices, okay? But one clear vertex here. Let's go back to my screen share for the other shapes. What else have we got? So we've had a pyramid, a sphere, a cuboid, and a cone, and we have got a cylinder. Here we go, a cylinder. Again, what 2D shapes can you see? Tell the person next to you at home, or if you're in the classroom. We can see circles, can't we? And again, we've got 3 faces. 1, 2, 3. 3 faces. And the last one, where are we? A prism. A prism. So here we've got this prism. We can see a triangle. We can also see another triangle here. Have a little look and see what other shapes you can see within this one. Okay, so your mission today to do at home, let's stop this share, is the best thing with 3D shape and to learn about 3D shape is to go and have a look around the house, because I guarantee you've got tins, you have got cereal boxes, you guys will have, I don't know, rubbers, balls. I've got loads of balls for Ronnie at home that he plays with, and I nearly use that as part of my maths lesson today. Around you, 3D shape is everywhere. So I would like you to go around your house. I'd like you to take a little clipboard or balance it on a book and draw all of the things that you have found around in your house and see if you can remember all of the names for these shapes. Against them, you're going to have an extra challenge, because I would like you to list the faces. So how many faces does that shape have? My cone has 1 face, 1 curved face, and another face. It has 2 faces. How many vertices does it have? My cone has 1 vertex. And how many edges does it have? It has 1 curved edge. So once you've drawn your shape, list those key features against the 3D shape. Now, we use magic counting tack, blue tack to grown-ups, but we like to call it magic counting tack at school. And we can sometimes put these on the edges by attaching a small bit to each edge, and that helps us keep track of which edges we've counted. Just a top tip if you're looking to do this at home. Can't wait to see them all. Can't wait to see that super good use of language, and I will catch up with you again tomorrow for another 3D shape lesson. Bye!